Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Happy
Hello.
Monday.
Yes, exactly. Happy Monday. I haven't even realized it's actually Monday already.
You're still in the weekend, Steffi, are you?
Yes, still, because I had the yin yoga this morning, and actually some people were complaining, like, why would they put the yin yoga for Monday morning? We need to be ready for action and not to be relaxed. I think it relaxed me way too much this morning.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
Yes.
So we're live today talking about why community. Why community? So
Mm.
if everyone is joining, say hello. Let us know where you're joining from. Where are you right now? I know. So I'm actually in
Mhm.
Mexico City. And Steffi, where are you right now? I know you're
I'm
traveling
in,
to places. Where are you today?
at this very moment, I'm in London. But next week, this time, I will be in Slovakia, and the week after in Netherlands. So I'm traveling a little bit.
And then in March.
In Mexico, April, Rome. But where are you from? Where are you from, guys? Where are you joining us from? So Portugal, Liverpool. Yes, quite a few people. I don't know, Gemma. Can you see the names because I cannot see the names?
No. So it says Facebook user. I think they have to. Yeah,
Yeah,
unfortunately we can't see the ones on Facebook who they are.
yeah.
Sadly, let us know. Oh, we have someone from Romania as well. Yeah, let us know where you're joining in. Quite an international community that we have.
We do have quite an international community, and actually, this is the best part of this job for me that I get to meet people from everywhere. Although sometimes it may be tricky with the time zones, that's the only thing. But apart from that, it just feels like you travel everywhere in just that 1 hour when you are connecting with those people.
Yeah. We also have Mary Alice from France.
Yes.
Charlotte from the beautiful
Georgia.
state of Georgia. And
Yeah.
desde Costa Rica. Hi, Hannah. Welcome from Costa
Beautiful. Yeah. So we just even now we have like 4 different countries here from what I can see. Actually, five, six, Portugal as well. Yeah,
Rica. Yeah.
great. So what is the topic for today, Jim? Actually, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, we're talking all about community. And a
Mm,
big part of, firstly, I think it's important, when you have these sessions and you talk about something and you're like, okay, I think it's always important to define what is
mm,
community. We're going to be talking about community because it's such an important aspect. Whether you are, you're thinking of maybe starting your own business and maybe, you're a teacher. I think even community, just generally, without not even thinking about professional community, being
mm.
a part of, it's that connection. So, one, thinking about, well, what is community? What do we mean by community? I'd love to know, Steffi, for you, just in a general sense, what is community?
Yeah.
All
So
right.
I can definitely relate to what you're saying right now, Gemma. Being a digital nomad, somebody who works and travels from different places in the world, I very often feel psychologically homeless when I travel. So I
Mm,
live in bigger cities like Paris, Madrid, Manchester, London. And when I start living there, like the first few weeks or months, I feel psychologically homeless. I feel like, where do I belong? I don't belong here. Like, kind of like, I don't have any group of people who are here that would tell me, like, okay, this is my place. And I realized it actually really for the first time when I came to London. And London is a big city, and you can get very lost here and you can feel lonely here. And then I discovered one community. It's called World Citizen. So it's the actually citizens from all the countries in the world, like here now, our community here. And for the first time, I experienced this sense of belonging somewhere, be around some people who are very similar to me. And for the first time, I didn't have to really explain too much of like where I am from, or it wasn't even that important in a way. Like people could celebrate with you where you were at this moment right now. And I felt like the sense of belonging to this community gave me a lot. Like I felt like this is the city where I want to be at least for some time. So it was the community actually that made me stay in London, because right now I could be anywhere in the world because of the nature of my job. But it's the community in London that made me stay in London. So
yeah.
that's how I understand community from my own personal perspective.
Mm.
And
It's a
and
social,
as
for you, it's a
yeah,
social interaction.
Exactly.
I think that's a lot of aspects of community, but yeah, the connection that you felt with the people there.
So actually, exactly the connection I found with people, somebody I can chat with, speak with, who has very similar understanding or maybe background. They not necessarily they just live in one country, but in different countries, and they understand me. So kind of like this sense of belonging somewhere, social interaction, being understood, um, being with like-minded people as well. Right. So that's what it means to me. What about you, Gemma?
Yeah, but before like I answer, it'd be great to hear for those that are here. What if I say what is community? For Sefi said about social interaction and the connection. Let us know what is community for you. Like when you think of community, what does that mean to you? Someone here said at school, community is fading away. I'm sure we'll talk about that in just a moment. But yes, unfortunately, okay. So for me, I agree with you. It's definitely that social interaction. I also think you mentioned this as well, is like the common goals that you might have, or some kind of something that brings you together, interest or a passion. So for the citizens of the world that you're part of, there's obviously you're all citizens of the world and have different experiences, but what you have in common is that you're all in London, for example.
Exactly.
Or some connection in some way. I also think it's that networking opportunity that comes with that. I also think there's a bigger thing, and that's like a sense of purpose. There's some kind of something that drives you, or whether that's support or maybe education or some common goal that you have by being part of the community. So I think that's also another part of community when I think about community, just in a general sense of what it is. But yeah, being with people who have some kind of shared values or something in common with them. But I also think as a community, you have to seek it out and be intentional, I guess. It's not, oh, I'm living in London. There's like for me, I've just moved to Mexico City. There's a lot of people here. But if I just stay at home, I don't really go out, like the community won't just come to me. It's something you have to actively seek and be a part of and a belonging to as well.
So true. And I can hear from other people already mentioning what the community means to them. And then I want to say something else as well. So we can see, if you can just maybe bring it up, Gemma, a sense of belonging, people who support each other and think alike, and even connection and interactions. Yes, exactly. I can definitely relate to all of these. And what you said, Gemma, actually is so interesting, because a lot of people complain in London, like there are some meetups, there's always so much to do, and I still feel lonely in London. And then when I try to tell them, yes, that's fine, that's true, it's a lot of things to do, but are you intentionally following one community or being part of one community long enough? And many of them find out that they just come to one meetup once and then another meetup another time. So there are like 500, 1,000 different meetups. And then I say to them, try to come to the same meetup again every Saturday. So for example, there is one I run every Saturday. And this is the way how you can get to know the community better and decide if this community is actually aligning with your, as you said, Gemma, purpose, core values. So if you don't intentionally and consciously do your best to build that community as well from your side, or at least contribute there, it won't come just to you. So that's why I come to this community every single week, and it feels like community.
Yeah, that's it. It could be easy to lose that connection with the community. You're not, putting also interacting and being a part of it. I'd love to know from the audience who is part of some kind of community. Just let us know. Let us know if you are part of.
And even maybe what kind of communities, if you want to share that.
Yeah, that'd be great to hear. So one thing is, why then do you think we need a community? And specifically, if you are, for our audience, for those of you, we support a lot of educators and teachers, and even those that are, looking for more freedom, making more of an impact, but also like financial freedom as well, because you might be working at school, and maybe you like what you do, and you have a lot of knowledge to share, and you want to put that in a way to maybe you're semi-retired, you're thinking of retiring, or you're just like build more income, maybe teach less. I think whoever you are, it's important to be part of a community, and specifically if you would like to do something that maybe is completely out of your comfort zone or completely new, like any kind of skill. Like for you to be living in a foreign country, for example, like you need that support. I think it's that sense, it's like really out of your comfort zone, whether you're like in a new country or if you are starting a new business or you are doing something that's not like ordinary, I guess,
Mhm.
really extraordinary. So why do you think we need a community in that situation?
Mm-hmm. So I would like to know from everybody else as well. So if you want to write that, and in the meantime, I will just contribute with my insights. So exactly as you said with London, for example, I just felt lonely here. I just wanted to belong somewhere. So I want to have friends. Pretty much. I wanted to have friends in London, people I can go out with, explore London, just have a nice meal, nice drink, go and dance, go to the museums together, just to share that time together. And I guess because my core values is like really global inclusion. That's one of my core values. Like I do believe there should be more of kind of focus on inclusion, and because this community reflects that, it was easy to kind of then find them, because I do believe any community we are looking for, we should know actually what is, as you said, our purpose, maybe vision that we have, or maybe if we already have goals, what we would like to achieve. So let's say as an educator, you would love to have more passive income so that you can work less maybe and have more passive income, right? Following the resources and skills that you put together and you created something. Or even as an educator, you would like to have your own business and be entrepreneur. Then if this is your goal, and it's part of your vision and purpose, then you look for the community that can actually support you with that worthy goal. They can support you, encourage you to keep going, even though you want to give up sometimes because there are a lot of challenges. The community that actually reminds you, because you will not just share challenges with them, but the wins, the good sides as well of whatever is happening to you. And then that community will remind you in those bad times that you will have, that this is actually what you've achieved already. Just keep it in mind. So they will serve. So why do we need community? They serve us as an encouragement, maybe reminder of those greater times we had, or maybe encouragement for the future as well. Like by us even maybe looking around and see that some people achieve that what I want to achieve, and they are on the good way. So it's like looking up to them as well.
Yeah.
So I guess there are different reasons, like encouragement, looking up to someone, that support. Yeah. What is it for you, Gemma, and maybe for everybody else?
Yeah, I think so. For me, a lot of what you said is like, yes, finding friends, but not just friends. Like I've been part of, I've been a part of a few different communities. The first like big community that I joined really was in 2020 when I started I did the 21 day challenge, I started my teaching business, and being part of, the Bowway community, just as a teacher entrepreneur, like building that. I think without that community, honestly, I wouldn't be here now. Like I wouldn't have a business. I would have probably given up much sooner. And I think the support that I got by being part of a community, like you said, is, I think a big thing is there's other people doing this. There's other people like me. That connection of being like, wow, there's other people also doing this, and I'm not alone. It's not just me doing this. It's not for nothing. And I'm seeing that they're doing well. And I think it's nice to support other people. When you see other people doing well and you start celebrating them, you feel good for other people. I know I was like, wow, it's so cool to see someone who, it wasn't that easy for them. It took them a while to maybe get their first student, but I could see they put all the work in. And then when they finally did and they got their student, or they raised their rates, or they put together their first ever teaching resource to sell online, and it's like such a celebration for other people. And that just it brings me a lot of joy when I see other people like winning as well. Like, wow, this is cool. So I think that was my first experience of a community, and just a few things like that shared excitement and belonging, and being part of that. is I think pretty special.
Very, very special, exactly.
Yeah.
And I can see a few comments from different people saying that communities of like interest are valuable, in particular when new to a location or career change. Exactly. So it's not just to when we change location, but career change. So when I was a general English teacher before, I did have my community of general English teachers. Then when I shifted to becoming a niche teacher entrepreneur, and that was quite specific, then I had to look for the community that was full of these niche teacher entrepreneurs because I wanted to grow in that area. So it's so true
Mm.
that we need communities of like interest. Yeah, and Mary is saying as well, I have recently moved to a remote area, and there are no communities, finding that difficult. That's exactly it. So there are a lot of people who would like to have this community and have this group of people, but when it's not there, it can feel much more difficult. So sometimes even when you are part of the community, it's not that you have even better strategies, not always necessarily, but it's just that there are other people doing the same thing what you are doing, and it's just this kind of encouragement that yes, you can do it. And I can imagine, Mary, it must be quite challenging for you.
But one thing with that is about being in a remote area. Sometimes you're around people and you can be like have a physical community, but you can still feel alone. And sometimes you're in a remote area and you can feel very connected. And I think there's two different types, you have an in-person community and you have an online community. And for me, when I started this journey, maybe my family didn't really understand what I was doing. Or maybe, when I'm creating and selling things online, they're like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay, what is this? And maybe they want to support you as much as possible, or maybe even your colleagues or your loved ones. They want to support you, but they don't really understand. And sometimes you have to connect with people online that really do get it, that understand. If I say, oh, I had I need to put together this resource, and they understand the challenges. And I think that's sometimes it's not just about,
Yeah.
you can be in a remote area and actually feel very connected. We're lucky that we can connect it with online.
Yeah. So actually, this is such a good point, Gemma. I just want to add to this one. I don't know if you remember when I was living in Gran Canaria in Spain, and it was actually one place. It was like a village in the middle of nowhere, literally in the middle of Gran Canaria. Of those of you who were there, and there was no public transport, so I had to walk 1 hour to get to the kind of like closest public transport. And I was really isolated, like you could say, like isolated, really, really isolated. But I felt so good because I had this online community. So I was connecting with different people in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, and these were people from the communities that I needed for my that time career I was in. So yes, as you said, Gemma, sometimes we can be remote, but we can actually feel like we belong somewhere because of this online community. So it's quite tricky, right? This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
I would say this comment. I think Gemma's comment is key if you're outside of your comfort zone and maybe far from earlier communities, as Steffi was. It's so important to seek and share with people who have something in common with you. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's easier now with these online communities and internet and everything that we can connect with different people. Not necessarily we have to live in the bigger cities where those people are. So this is a good thing. And we spoke about the why community, what is community, and what kind of support you can get inside that community, Gemma. So if we think about that, what type of support, and everybody else as well, like if you're part of community, what kind of support you are getting from that community, and what is your favorite type of support, or what do you feel like, yes, this is the best bit?
Yeah. Well, I think one thing we mentioned is a sense of belonging and connection. So how can you be supported in that way? I know for us, so we have a community that we've created that's available to join now, specifically for educators. And for us in the academy, I think it's almost like what we would want, what was missing from other communities.
Exactly.
I know that's, and also like listening. We like to listen to other teachers, but also we know what it's like because we were also
Yeah.
I think that's an advantage. But for me, I think it's helpful to have accountability. I mentioned earlier about sharing wins. I think I'm good at celebrating other people and like encouraging I think teachers are really good at doing that because teachers are as educators, we are always supporting other people and always cheering other people when our students do really well, or that's something that comes usually quite naturally is like, yes, you're doing so well, congratulations. Or if they tell you something, you really encourage them. But when it's yourself, for me at least, if there's a win, I don't usually tell people. It's like, yeah, I know that's cool. But being in a community that encourages you to celebrate the wins and talk about the things that you're not doing so well, that feel like failures for you, that for me was really important to be able to do that. And I think that made me realize, oh yeah, I'm not doing as bad as I think I am. And let's really that. And then sharing and cheering other people on. But then also when people do that for you, when you're a teacher and you're giving away so much, I know Steffi is the same. If you work with any profession that helps people, you used to help psychologists. Psychologists are the same. I remember my therapist once said to me, therapists need therapy because they give so much to people. And it's like teachers also need that support. So I think for me, that's a big aspect of community that I think is really important that I wouldn't necessarily think about. What about you, Steffi? That's definitely a big aspect for me.
Yes, definitely. So accountability sessions, for example, that you have in that community where you just meet and share your wins, your challenges, where you support each other, it is very important. I even liked when I had, as part of that community, even just one person, like accountability partner from that community who shared the same purpose and vision. So that was even more focused. You just had one person who are you even meeting like once a week and really sharing that journey together even more. And very important what was for me as well, like kind of mastermind part of the community. So when kind of like, let's say 5 people from that community meet and they really hold that space for each other. So it's very focused. So it doesn't feel like there is just one brain, but let's say 5 brains in that space. So then when you ask a question that you struggle with something as part of your career business, and then everybody can give you some insights and, suggestions, what you could do, like even you can brainstorm together there, or they can give you some advice, whatever you ask for. And that was for me very, very important and strong. And I remember I was part of that mastermind community, and actually Robbie was there as well. For those of you who don't know Robbie is part of our team, Bowie team. And I remember it was Robbie and 2 more people. And because of that mastermind community, I was able to go from $50 per hour to 80 to 140, so like around 100. So like kind of double my income within the few weeks and months, just because they said, Steffi, you can do it. You already have this and these skills and you have the confidence. And they were doing it already. So of course, me seeing them and them having faith in me as part of that mastermind, it was so strong and powerful. So I really am a big fan of mastermind accountability sessions, of course, when you meet, every day or regularly with people, maybe every week or something. Or even just having a chat, Gemma, when you have a chat as part of that community, and you can just, or maybe even forum for questions where you ask question and then everybody just jumps in to give you the answer. So I love that aspect as well.
Yeah, that's true. And it's the speed, and also people who've already experienced it. Like, oh, I did it before and it didn't really work out. Or like, oh, have you tried this?
Exactly.
One thing you mentioned is the ideas. Sometimes by being a part of community, one idea can pay for a year of that community. I know for me, I was part of a paid community, and I had one idea from someone in that community. And actually, there's another thing part of the community is the knowledge sharing, or maybe if there's some kind of training within that community. But just getting one idea from this community encouraged me to start my own podcast.
Yes.
And then from that, I've been able to sell, and actually it's brought in a lot of income. So it's like one idea can actually pay multiple times for the community that I was part of just for one idea. And it's like, wow, even if
Yes,
it's like one idea from being in this
yeah,
community, it can pay for it. It's like, what?
exactly, exactly. So Gemma, and just to add to this, because I can see we have a few questions there, that
Yeah.
we even have the community in this community where actually we ask ourselves, how can this idea bring us 10 times more of what we want? So it's
Mm,
maybe 10 times of freedom or money. So like, let's say we have an idea, how can it bring to you 10 times more? So, or even when we invest in something, or even time wise, like you invest 5 minutes, so how
yeah.
can it bring it back to me? So it's very, very important. Yep. So there are a few comments there. Gemma, if you can just bring them up.
Sure. Which one? So we'll look at this one.
Yes.
Yeah, a big comment. I think of it as a personal journey. Family is very supportive, friends as well, those who understand what this is all about. But colleagues mock this quest all the time. Feeling
Mm,
connected is just a feeling. You can feel alone in a room full of people or completely supported in an online community. It's all
yeah.
about perspective. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Hannah asked, how do we join the community? Great question. So maybe we can share a little bit more about the Academy. I'm going to share a link with you, Hannah. You can read all about the Academy
Mm,
with this link. So the Academy, it's a monthly monthly community where you can join, but it's really more than just a community. But we wanted to talk about community because we know how important that is, as we've mentioned today. A lot of points of sharing about the Academy, like why it's so important to be part
mhm,
of the community.
mhm.
But yes, we have lots of different things happening in the Academy that we can maybe discuss. I know we're with time, but we can definitely share a little bit about
You
the
can.
Academy. Yeah. And what we've kind of put together based on our experiences of being educators, being teachers, and our, how we wanted to be supported,
Mm,
and a lot of things that we've
mm.
said today, we've actually have in our community in the Academy.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Are you going to share? You shared the links already, Gemma. Yeah.
Link, yes, yeah, Hannah, I've shared the link to join. So if you join now, we actually have some special bonuses for this month.
Mm,
For those of you, maybe you attended Steffi's incredible workshop last week. And one thing is we mentioned about, goal setting, and you spoke about the mindset and how to, you have all of the resources, you have everything that you need, but then how can you actually continue that? And I think one thing is, just to be really transparent, when we're creating anything new, whether that is a new YouTube channel, if we are getting our first students online, if we're creating resources to sell online, anything like that, it's going to take a little bit of time. It's not instant success. It's not like a get rich quick scheme or something.
mhm.
And during that process, having support, having the accountability is something that we're really aware of that's very important. So actually, Steffi and I within the Academy are going to be running a challenge
Mm,
next month.
yeah.
And by joining, you actually get access to that. Maybe we can share a little bit about the challenge, and because that's a big
Yes,
part of the community,
yeah,
isn't it? A
yeah,
big part of the
yeah,
community is this challenge that we're running.
yeah.
And we're going to have different activities and different ways to support each other. So maybe we can share a little bit about.
Definitely. And actually, what is very important about this challenge, so as you mentioned, Gemma, last week I had a workshop, mindset workshop on goal setting, and we touched on a lot of things like how to set a goal. And most of the people had a clear goal by the end of that workshop. And then we touched on as well, like what actions you can take. But I couldn't share much in just 2 hours, on that last day about like what actions you can take. But basically, this challenge is like an expansion of it, like what action plan you can design for you and define that you can follow for you to actually achieve that goal that you set for yourself. And there were different goals. Some people had goals like, I would love to achieve my first month where I charge $5,000. Then others had a goal like, I would love to find 50 students for my niche to support. So there were different goals. Or even like, I would love to create a program that I could sell on social media as a digital program and generate some passive income. And I would like to make at least 50 sales. So there were different goals. And in this February challenge that we have in this academy is like how we can help you achieve that goal by really following actionable steps. So it will be like actionable steps that you all will decide or will define for yourself. So everybody will have different action plan, but we created this community in such a way that we will hold you accountable and you guys will hold accountable each other there as part of this challenge. And as Gemma said, we have quite a few activities. Some of them are really fun activities, what you will be doing sometimes like every week, some of them maybe even every day, but they are fun activities to really hold you accountable to achieve your goals that you set in 2024.
So within the academy, you mentioned about like you can actually communicate with each other, and there's different posts that we have where you can ask questions, but also we have it where there's different challenges where you actually have to like we encourage you to step out of your comfort zone to do that. And I think for me, if I see other people doing it, it's like, okay, I want to do it too. And I know a lot of our teachers in the community are like teachers' pets. So like, I want to do it too. I want to do a better job. So I see that as well. But actually within the academy, you can actually go live and join the room and even like work with other people. So it's just I was having a conversation earlier, and I don't know if this is the same for you, but for community, sometimes it's just that belonging. And is that, not everyone is, if they're working at home, it can feel like not everyone works really well at home. I know Robbie, for example, on the team, he likes to go to Starbucks and works at Starbucks because he's around people. Some people don't want to leave the house or be around. I know for you, Steffi, you don't want to, like, I find it quite distracting to be working. It's fun, but I don't get a lot of work done. But also at home, it can feel kind of lonely to work. So I've also, we have this option in the academy where you can actually join these rooms, and it's like, oh, I need to finish this task. Steffi, like, do you want to go into the room? And there might be a few of you there, co-working sessions, and you're working together and doing the tasks and creating your resource, or, preparing your, whatever it is that you're doing. And I find that really valuable to have that like accountability by showing up, but also, I don't know who here works at home, or do you like to go to a co-working space? Or for me, that's also another part of community, is like working at the same time as others and know that you're doing this, you're in this together.
Yeah. So that's a very good question. So please, if you can just let us know who here is working from home just by yourself, or maybe you have a core working space, like physical one that you work from, where you work with different people, or maybe you have a physical office where you actually have other educators around you. And one thing, this is like a virtual co-working space, is what you mentioned, Gemma. So I do love co-working spaces, and we have different types of co-working spaces inside the academy. So one of them is as well, where you join at the beginning, you said what is the intention for this 1 hour that you want to do, the task you want to work on. Then everybody is quiet for 50 minutes. And at the end, you share what you achieved within these 50 minutes. So this is something I prefer. I have 50 minutes of silence, but then at the same time, I want to share with others like what I achieved in that 50 minutes time.
Yeah. So Mary said, work at home, too isolated for co-working spaces. Yeah.
I agree, Mary, with you.
But you can do an online co-working space, right? Not everyone. And also, to like, for me, I wanted to do that, but it's like I have to take all of my things and leave the house and
This one you can do even in your pajama if you want to. Exactly. That's what I used to do at the beginning. At 7 a.m. we had a accountability session, and I was in my pajamas always.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, great. I love the mindset workshop. Very enlightened. I have joined the academy over the weekend. I don't know who you are, but wonderful.
But yeah, we are happy that you joined. And actually, I just wanted to share one thing, Gemma. I know we will be wrapping it up in a few minutes now. Is that if it wasn't for the community of other teacher entrepreneurs, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I want to tell you why. So I have a very loving family and very supportive friends. But just because my friends and my family have never been, some of my friends, of course, and some of my family members have never been entrepreneurs, they didn't understand what it means to be a teacher entrepreneur, or just to do something different to what I was doing before. And for them, it was a risk. So they said, like, my parents were saying, you rather stay with language schools, with state schools, because you have like security there. Don't do anything else. Just be with secure schools. And then my friend as well, he was trying to kind of discourage me for good reasons because he wanted me to feel safe. And he said to me, like, Steffi, you are dreaming. Like, you cannot charge as a teacher $100 per hour. Like, if you do that, he even tried to say to me, if you do that, I'm going to eat the fork. And he was eating his food at that time with the fork. And he said, I will eat this fork if you are going to charge $100 per hour as a teacher. And I already knew from other teachers it's possible. But if you hear comments like this, you could
Yeah.
get really, really discouraged. And these are people who are very close to you and they don't do it to hurt you. They just don't believe, it's possible. And they just pass on your limiting beliefs on you. So if there weren't other teacher entrepreneurs in that community, I'm telling you, I wouldn't be an entrepreneur today because so much discouragement around you. So if I'm where I am, it's for the community I've been part of, and I've been part of different communities, of course. And we've been part of the same community, Gemma, right? That's how we became entrepreneurs. So I'm so grateful. I just wanted to say how grateful I am.
Points there.
Mm.
Yeah, and it comes from, you might have loving family, loving support from friends and colleagues, even if it is, or it could be worse where it's not, and you feel like I can never do this, and you write a book. We've seen that before. A lot of times, it's not the doing part, the creating part, but it's that accountability, and that's why Steffi's our mindset coach for a reason. We say it's 80%. Of success, because the 20% is, for example, putting a course together. It's creating the resource. It's writing a book that you can sell online, and that's something. Sure, I mean we have access to the digital courses within the academy. There's actually 4 that you have access to. You have access to our passive income mastery, and in that we teach all of the skills that you need to actually create. For example, if you want to sell resources on Teachers Pay Teachers, or if you want to write a book to sell on Amazon Marketplace, or if you want to start a YouTube channel, we have more things coming for that course. You learn how to do that. And we also have, a few other courses as well that you have access to. 5-figure TE, if you are a teacher and entrepreneur, you want to be like Steffi and prove people wrong. Steffi, by the way, I think you should have a T-shirt that says "Eat that fork."
Oh, eat that frog, eat that fork.
Yeah.
Let me just write it down. This is so.
She's writing it down.
Let me just write it down.
Ideas like that. Eat that fork. I think that would be very funny. But even if you have, people like that, and even if you do create something, which we see again, I see many people like, oh, yeah, I've written a book before. Like a lot of educators like, yeah, I've got plenty of resources. And it's like, well, what's stopping you? A lot of the times it's that accountability.
Yeah.
And for like you said, someone to be like, you already done it. Go for it. Like you can do this. And then that mindset work, which we know is so important, but I don't think you realize how important it is until you actually are on this journey. It's like, you don't think, oh, I need to work on my mindset. I know when I started, I wasn't thinking. I was thinking, I need to create resources. I need to do this. I need to do this. Or I need to hustle and work. And actually being part of this community and seeing others' success, thinking, well, how are they able to go dancing and take a holidays and do all of these things? And I'm like, well, maybe I'm just not organized enough. I'm not working hard enough. I realized it was actually 1, the accountability, and 2, working on my mindset, which I didn't realize until I was actually part of this these communities, and I realized how important that was.
Yeah, and definitely just to add to what you're saying, Gemma, about mindset community. So the way we change our mindset, which, for example, beliefs that we have about ourselves, and let's say we have limiting beliefs and we want to change them for the encouraging, empowering beliefs. So the way we form beliefs is 2 ways. 1, emotional impact. So when something really happens, like let's say you get your first client that pays you $100, and in that time you feel like, okay, I'm worth charging more than just $12.50 per hour. That was my case before. So that was like high emotional impact, or even by spaced repetition. So if you repeat the same thing, like I'm worth charging more, or I'm worth making more impact, or I can have more freedom. And when you repeat that again, and not just you, but everybody around you in that mindset, in that spirit that, yes, we are worth charging more as teachers, as educators, then this is how beliefs are formed. And when your belief is formed, let's say, I deserve to charge $100 per hour, then you are going to get to that stage where you're going to be attract more and more clients who will pay you this because it's aligned with your belief. And the community actually helps you form those healthy beliefs if that community is around the things you want to
Yeah.
achieve aligned with your purpose and core values. Of course, you have to be in the right community. But that's how I kind of like understood my worth as an educator, because I was in that community where other people already saw their worth.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
good points. Yeah. Mary said, I joined the academy. Wonderful. Great to have you with us, Mary. I know that Mary is actually in the mastery course. Yeah, she said, thanks to the mindset course, I've decided to give up low-paying students to focus on students who are paying double or more. And yes, and if that's completely new, so if you are like listening to Steffi say, I went from £12 £12.50. It was in pound working in London. Same for me. It's £12.50 to $100 an hour. I remember back then, because I've done the exact same thing. We have a very similar situation. You know, I was also working in schools. I think it was £12 an hour in Manchester for me. So I understand. And then 100, really? Like, what? Are you crazy? And actually, I kind of thought, okay, well, let's go in with an open mind. Let's see. And those particular courses are actually part of the academy. So the 21-day challenge and 5-figure TE are actually part of that. So if that is something you want to do, and also, you know, the mindset course, it's all there to show you how. If that is something, you know, I feel like there's a lot there to support you with access to our different courses. Yeah.
Yes, there is one more comment, and then I want to just mention something as well. Yeah, so there was just one person who attended day one of our Mindset workshop on goal setting. And because of that community, we had more than 100 people, Gemma, I don't know, 130 or 40 on day one. And that person just attended day one. They didn't even set goal on day two or even took any action whatsoever from day three. But they gave us feedback. Actually, I can share that maybe later in one of my posts. They said that without me taking any action or even setting a goal, I doubled my hourly rate just by seeing that there are other teachers around me who already start seeing their value or like want to see more of their value and their worth. So they just gave us feedback after day one that I'm charging, I think they were charging something like 10 or 11 per hour, charging something to 19 to 27. So that range. So they already increased the price, not even by taking any action or strategy, just by being around other people who shared with them, I already charge 50 per hour, you know, or it's possible, you can do it.
Yeah. And that's a good point, because it's not, yes, you have access to the courses, you can do all of that, but it's sometimes you have enough already. You just need that encouragement. I think for me, it's the same. It's not really that there's any, you know, there's a lot of strategies, and I always think all of the strategies will work. You just got to know which one to choose. But it's not that. It's like you said, that encouragement. And I think that's exactly it for me. I thought, well, other people are charging this amount. I can do this too. And others are like, yeah, you know, this is how I do it. And there's a special, you know, sure, there's different ways of doing it. But I love that. I love that they were just, without even really just that belief, they've been able to already increase their rates, get students at a higher price, or to understand what others are doing. And it's helpful for them too. Yeah, I love that so much.
It's been very powerful, because I didn't even share like much of strategy on day one. That was day two and day three mainly. And it was just beautiful to watch it, like how powerful community is, Gemma. Can you maybe share the link again so that people can see it? Because there were a few comments. And I can see as well a comment from Julian saying that coming from New Zealand, yes, and I'm involved with New Zealand adult community education and social entrepreneurs community. This is fantastic. Julian, yes, it's great that you are part of these communities. I'm sure you have, you know, better focus and great support from them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we would love to see you in the community if you're not there already. If you are, we can't wait to support you and
Exactly.
I know people watching are already part of the community, but yes, and we do have, if you do join this month, like we said, we have a few special bonuses. One of them is the challenge that we're running together, Steffi, in February. Really excited to run that within the community for those of you that are already there as well. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and there's a few other bonuses, a few other sessions that I'm doing to support you as part of the bonus to join. So yeah.
Great. And maybe just to remind if people want to join us tomorrow, Gemma, because we are running these talks more often. So tomorrow we have a very interesting one, which is a money mindset talk. So how to change your mindset, or what to work on for you to be able to attract more money as an educator, to earn more money as an educator. So it will be money topic tomorrow, money talk. And it will be all four of us. So that will be Robbie, James, Gemma, and me. And that's going to be, Gemma, is it at, let me just double check, but I think
1 p.m. Eastern time.
that's correct.
I will share all of our free events. Join us for the money mindset event. All of our events, I'm just sharing the link with everybody.
Fantastic.
All of the events are here. So if you come to these events, just like today, we'll be going live on YouTube, on Facebook, on wherever you're watching, lots of different places you can actually join. And yes, we have the money mindset tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time.
1 p.m. Eastern time. That will be a good talk.
I'll see you there. Yeah, it's gonna be, I know that
share some
huge
tips.
Huge, great topic. Yeah. Perfect.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask us. There are different ways how you can access us, right? If you're in the academy, yeah. Great. If you're in the academy, we will see you around, and we will do this challenge now in February and support you in different ways. And if you're not in the academy and you feel like you like the vibe of this community, then you are welcome and invited to join us.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a beautiful day. And it's nice to have you as part of our wider community as educators. We are very happy.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you.